This episode of CST brought to you by all of our patrons, especially Lisa.
Especially Lisa.
You know who you are.
That one Lisa. None of the other ones, though.
No, just the
one.
one Lisa.
Yeah.
If you would like to donate to our show, you can do so at patreon.com/CST.
All right, so, you taping?
Not hot. Sea lions sunbathing.
All right, so we're actually doing the show now?
We're doing the show now. Let's
Okay.
do the show.
All right. Hello, Katherine.
Hi.
How are you doing? Seems like it's been a week and 2 days since I've seen you last.
Don't ask me that. Don't ask me how I'm doing.
You're not doing well. You have a cold.
I do have a cold.
It's been quite phlegmy lately, has it not?
It has been rather phlegmy. It's quite phlegmister here in the Barron household.
It's kind of gross.
It's kind of gross.
The word unblowupable is thrown around a lot these days, but I think I can say with confidence. Okay, that shows you what could potentially happen.
But for real, you're cold.
For real.
Are we over the hump of the cold, or?
You know, it's hard to tell on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew hold on, I'm going to cough. I knew for absolute certain last Tuesday morning when I woke up, like I felt the tickle, at the back of your throat. And so it's just been...
Because living with me, sometimes you feel the tickle, other times.
What?
Yeah, continue. As you wake up, the tickle. Wait, go ahead. What?
What are you
talking
I don't
about?
even know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Me neither.
It sounds
Who knows?
terrible.
I don't have time.
I don't know.
So
What is happening?
You started getting the tickle, and then you went like full Jennifer Willits, like for a few
Jennifer
days.
Willis, that's right. Sunday, actually, I almost did not go to church because I was just coughing continuously, and I, usually play the piano at church on Sundays, and I thought, well, there's no way I'm singing. Like I wasn't even speaking. It wasn't that it hurt. It was just you were just like this all the time. I was never sure when I opened my mouth if my voice was gonna be there or not. So I did go to church on Sunday, and I did play the piano, but I did not sing, and that was a very interesting experience.
Yes, it was. Basically, Mac had to lead the music. It was not.
Sarah helped.
And Sarah, absolutely.
Oh man!
But the last couple of songs were right in my wheelhouse. I felt really good about the songs.
Yeah.
Because they didn't require that much range, and as long as something doesn't require range, I'm good.
I tried to pick things that I felt like most people would know, like Amazing Grace. I mean, come on.
Well done.
Amazing Grace. If you don't know that one, there's something wrong with you. So anyway, that was kind of Sunday day was kind of the low point in terms of my voice and stuff. It was a little bit better yesterday, but still a lot of coughing at work last night. So we've waited till today's Tuesday. So we waited till today. It is Tuesday, right?
Today is Tuesday, June 6th.
We waited till today to do the show just because we were waiting for me to get some of my voice back. It's still scratchy.
So I had post-planning. We had Memorial Day on Monday when we recorded the show last, I think.
Yes.
And then Tuesday and Wednesday I had post-planning on my last days at Swainsboro High School. And it was great. It really was. Not a lot of heavy lifting as far as work goes, but... we have this Promethean is a company that makes smart boards, and we have a portable smart board that is, I want to think it's like 86 inches or something. It's an enormous touch screen that is ultra high def, and so I wheeled that into our little room behind my office where we keep the classroom sets.
Should you tell this?
Absolutely. The classroom sets. And I brought my PS4 to school.
I hate to think that your new employer
and
might be
so
listening.
I played a good bit, not a good bit. I played probably all total an hour and a half of Shadow of Mordor on the dime of Emmanuel County taxpayers. and it was amazing. The main character who you're playing, I mean, he's like the size of a small child on the screen because the screen is so big. I had to FaceTime with Greg and showed him. It was awesome. It was so great. All right, so that was...
So aside from getting
that,
to play PlayStation on the big screen.
I want to do that all year long, too. That's what was so great. Our son Ben is behind the camera, is messing with our dog, who is dangerously close to one leg of this
He's
tripod.
trying to get him to move a little bit, but
Right.
you know Max.
Anyway.
The more you pay attention to him, the more he does the thing that you're trying to get him not to do.
But Wednesday was the day that we had our countywide meeting and we had our school faculty luncheon. So at the countywide meeting, I ran into several people like Robbie Warnick, who literally said, I'm not going to talk to you very much because I'm just going to start crying. You know, and just said the sweetest things. And then at the luncheon, our principal got a little teary-eyed saying goodbye to me. And then the social studies department, I was a social studies teacher for 12 years here at Swainsboro, and they gave me some gifts and gave me big hugs. And there's one particular faculty member there who, she was a student in the very first class I ever taught at Swainsboro High School, and she now teaches social studies. And says it because she had some really good social studies teachers in high school. And she's actually moving on too. She's becoming a media specialist here in the district.
That's right.
And so it was very emotional and wonderful in a wonderful way, and bittersweet, you know. Wonderful in that people are just saying the nicest things about you. Like, why don't people talk about me this way all the time?
Then you were here. You were just a part of things.
That's right. You're just something on the wall. Anyway, so that it was a great last day. It really was. And then I hit the ground running with home improvement stuff, trying to get the house ready for appraisals and inspections, and our potential buyer coming back to sort of reevaluate the contract and sign papers again.
Well, she wanted to bring her father to look around, and I was so proud of Mac. I just have to totally brag on him right now. We have, I don't know, have we talked about the enormous crack? I think we have talked about the enormous crack.
Have we talked about Mac's enormous crack? Really, it's if anything, it's our crack, Catherine. Our enormous crack.
So in the corner, you can't see it. It's the opposite corner. We are sitting in our living room. It was the opposite corner of our living room. There's been this crack in the ceiling that has...
And not like a cool Doctor Who crack where trans-dimensional beings are trying to suck power or anything. It's just a crack
that's slowly getting, over the last 6 years or so, has slowly gotten worse and worse. It went from a foot long to 2 feet, and then till it was
basically from
10 feet long.
One side of the room to the other, and it's a pretty wide room.
Yeah.
And so we're just scared to death of even touching it. And we would bring occasionally a contractor would be in our house for whatever reason. And I'd look up and say, "What do you think about this thing?" You go, "Man, I don't know."
So guess what we did? We Googled it. We Googled plaster crack and plaster ceiling. So we looked up a YouTube video about how to do it. And here's the thing about Mac. Mac is a perfectionist. Would you not say Mac's a perfectionist? In the sense that he may not get it exactly right, but if he thinks he could have done a better job than you, then he's going to be pretty frustrated with whatever your end result was.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Okay. So in this particular situation...
See, I don't really require excellence in my own work. It just has to be better than your work. That's it.
That's true. That's true. But it's and it makes sense. Why would I pay you to do the thing I could do myself and better?
You're right. Yeah.
That's
really what it's about.
You may find somebody else that's an expert at something that genuinely could do a better job.
I just have to tear stuff up. We had a little bit of work done last week on our entrance area to our house, and it just, I was not pleased with the work. I wish I had done it myself.
So in this other job, this big job,
I went after the crack myself.
So our potential buyer was very concerned about the crack.
Because it looks
terrible.
It looks like there's something wrong with the house. Like the front of the house is going to fall off like California into the sea.
Yeah.
Right?
But we know that's not true. So we found a YouTube video that has all these instructions, and you take these little washer things and you...
These are called plaster repair washers
They're specifically designed to
Yeah.
repair exactly the kind
Yeah.
of ceiling that we have.
It's just a little metal disc that you run a screw up through, and it pulls the plaster up against the wood that it has pulled away from over the years. And then you mud it over, and you use drywall tape and mud it over again, and sand that down and paint it.
See, he acts like it just isn't that big a deal.
And it was.
But I know there are lots of people out there
Yeah.
that they just, their brains don't think that way. And they don't have the patience. You like tasks like that, sort of these, it's not that the task is tedious, it's that you kind of like, I don't know, you just enjoy jobs like that, especially when you have time to do them.
Yeah. If I have a summer day, I like a job to take up my day.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to feel like the end of the day like I did nothing. I like being able to look back at the day and saying I did something besides play Batman.
So the worst part of the whole project was at the end when it was all finished and we needed to paint over, the big area with just primer.
No. That was not the worst part of the project.
That was not the worst part?
No.
Sorry.
The worst part of the whole project was the point at which I was at the top of a ladder with a respirator mask on, a hand sander, like an electric hand sander in one hand, with a canister vac slung over my shoulder, and the hose for the canister vac shoved up into the business end of that hand sander, and electric. Both of those things have to be plugged into the wall, by the way, and I'm at the top of a ladder, right?
Yes.
So, and I'm trying to sand something.
But you're trying to sand it in such a way that it sucks in the
down.
dust so it doesn't make as much of a mess.
Right.
But
because anybody who's ever sanded plaster or drywall compound knows it's a terrible mess. We hung plastic to the doorways. I was up there, and it took me 45 minutes or so, but I was exhausted at the end of that 45 minutes of trying to manage all this stuff. It's a wonder I didn't fall off the ladder.
Okay, so besides that, I was asleep for that part. Besides that, it was all done, and he was trying to have it finished before our buyer was coming back the next day, and we thought we had this paint color, because we have all these other paint colors in our basement, and apparently we painted this ceiling, and we repainted the walls, we didn't repaint the ceiling, so this ceiling color is like 15 years old.
And it's a good looking color.
Yeah, it's a really pretty color.
But we
it's
didn't have it anymore.
greige, which is like a big thing. Did you know that's a real word now?
Greige?
Greige. It's a cross between gray and beige.
Perfectly crepulent word.
Yeah. So, but you went, and on Monday, after the buyer had already come and everything was cool.
Took them a paint chip, they analyzed it, and they gave us a color, and it's spot on.
Perfect.
Looks really good.
If you didn't, you couldn't tell that there was ever a crack there if you didn't know it ahead of time. I mean, I am so impressed.
Thank you.
I am so impressed.
I think she was too. I think she was really like blown away.
When she came in
but
today,
like kind of like beside herself, like going, "Wait, now what?"
Yeah, because she was really concerned about it. And it was ugly. It was understandable. And so now to come in, and she probably isn't hardly even going to remember that it was there at all because of it.
I think what has occurred to me, Catherine, is that selling a house, for us anyway, was very much like the last 2 weeks of you being pregnant.
Yes, except that this is not 2 weeks. This is
it's drawn out even longer.
6 weeks process.
But in that sort of the anticipation, something's got to happen, and hopefully it will go your way. But it has great potential to not go your way, and so you're just stressed out about it all the time. And you are carrying the lion's share of that stress, but it has to do with paperwork and stuff too.
I have a tendency to do that anyway. You tend to be, things will work out kind of guy.
I stress about Boy Scouts.
Yes, you do. But I tend to stress about this kind of stuff because I have a tendency to see ahead all the things that can go wrong, and before the thing can go wrong, I've already worried about it. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's my way of, and I am an anticipatory worrier.
Part of all that worrying is trying to explain to people what you need done at certain times. And at some point this week, one of us uttered the phrase, "We've just got our ducks in the air right now."
Well,
we've got a lot of ducks in the air right now or something.
Yeah. So
So they're not in a row.
I think I actually said we've got all these ducks we've got to line up, and you said forget lining up ducks. We're juggling ducks at this point. We've got all these ducks in the air, and we're just
I think it
we're
came
juggling,
out. I think it
them.
came out the first time ducks in the air.
Anyway,
and then we realized the gold of that was that was.
So we're juggling ducks. Mm-hmm. We're hoping that all of our ducks land and they are all in the right place. So.
We had a house inspection today that went very well, we think.
At this point, so I look at this as like a 4-step process. Mm-hmm. Step 1 on both sides is sales contract. Mm-hmm. We have a sales contract on our current house. We have a sales contract on our new house. All right?
Wait, what? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
All right, so that has happened. 2, after that, you've got this due diligence period where anybody for any reason can go, change my mind. And so then you have the inspections that have to occur. Inspection number 1 occurred today. Seemed to go very well.
We have inspection number 2 tomorrow.
Inspection number 2 is tomorrow. We're all driving up to Gainesville, coming area, and going to see the house we have a contract on. And there will be an inspector there, so he'll be able to walk us around and show us stuff about the house. Mac and the boys have not seen this house that we have a sales contract on.
Because that's how much I trust my wife.
That's right. So that's tomorrow. And then after that is appraisals. So that's mm-hmm. step 3. Once the appraisals are all done, then it's really just a matter of closing day. And, you have like
closing day.
Every new beginning comes from sun and no beginning's end.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm trying to think of where that is. So if you divide it into eighths, so we're like 3/8 of the way through the process. That's how I look at it.
We're 9/10 of the way through boring our audience right now.
No, I think
why don't we get on?
Anybody that has been through this process, I'm assuming I just did not quite understand. And, our friends Greg and Jennifer went through this last year, and Jennifer, I think, was a little stressful, just a little bit. And I remember thinking, man,
why doesn't she just
stressed
chill out? Jeez, what is her deal?
What is such a big deal about all this? Now I know what the big deal is. And I was on the phone with my mortgage broker today. I mean, how many different phone calls have I fielded?
Oh, a lot. You were on the phone with her over an hour yesterday.
Finishing up our application, then just documents, and then you got to send more documents, and then you got to sign all this stuff online, and you got 4. You thought you got 4 emails? She said, no, look for 2 more emails. And those 2 more emails, there are like literally 55 places that need your electronic signature, and this is just the loan application.
That's not even the enormous amount of papers with the enormous amount of zeros
at the end
that you have to sign.
You actually have to sign. But I talked to the one lady at the mortgage brokers, and I talked to the guy today, and he was super nice. Everyone in this whole process, I just would like to say, has been wonderful. Like, I haven't met one person in this whole process that I've been like, why are they even doing that job? I've just been continually impressed with how everyone is so willing to help you and get you through the process.
Well, Katherine, that is because apparently the Lord wants us up there and wants to make this happen.
He is, and that's the other thing we should just continue to say is that we feel like this has been such a witness for the kids, and I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. I'm super nostalgic about our current home that I love, and but I just keep feeling like this is such clear direction, because everything really has just fallen into place.
Very providential.
And we feel super blessed, start to finish.
Well, that is the happening segment of our show, Catholic in a Small Town. If you'd like to hear the rest of the show, please subscribe to it however you subscribe to podcasts.